How dare you take my freaking job from me?
Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3. Let's get some more. Have it in. Some more. Let's get some more.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, and mistresses and madams and whoever else is in the chat tonight. Welcome to My Whiskey Den, where craft whiskey is king, except not tonight, because we're going after one of the big boys, Buffalo Trace. So,
Yes,
you guys
we
ready
are.
for some fun?
Yeah, Ben has taken his time and devised a little blind tasting challenge for us that pits us against 4 Buffalo Trace whiskeys. But before we go further, Mike, what do you have to tell the people that are watching?
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Comment live to this video. Share this. Hit that bell notification so you know when all of the episodes are coming out. And don't forget, just like tonight, every Monday night is usually a live episode, and 99% of the time an Evening With series. This is unfortunately not one of those, but an even better one, an Evening of Ben's Blind Challenge.
Yes. So, Ben, we vaguely know what we're working with here. We're just trying to help nail down which variants they are. Why don't you tell the people at home what we're trying to narrow down or kind of sift through to do what is Oscar, I have to at least pour the drinks first before we start doing.
Yeah, I recommended ball gags, but it just wouldn't work with the tasting, would it?
No.
Just another Monday night in my house.
Yep. Bring out the gimp. So, anyway, so Buffalo Trace, they've got a couple of mash bills that they primarily work from for the majority of their bourbon. Mash bill 1, mash bill 2. They're a little bit secretive about their recipe that they use here. There's some speculation about what exactly it is. One is supposedly a little bit more rye than the other. We're dealing with mash bill 1 tonight. And, these are classic bourbons, iconic bourbons, if you will. People have been, just loving these things for a while. There's, quite a lot of hype and hysteria about a little bit of it. We're going to look at kind of the base core. These are all from the same mash bill 1, which is, there's some speculation about it. 75% corn, 15% barley, and maybe about 10% rye is what I've seen most people speculate on this one. So we're looking at just the very basic Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare, and E.H. Taylor. And let's see what the differences are. And then there's a little fourth wild one in here. That's a Buffalo Trace store pick, and we'll see how that compares against the standard.
Okay.
Throwing some craps in the middle of the whole damn thing right away. All right. I like that.
So, how do you want to do it? Do you want us to pour them all? Or you want to just go down the line? What do you want to do?
Actually, yeah. I would like for y'all to go ahead and pour all 4 of them.
Okay.
And then kind of compare. That way, you can compare the noses between all 4 and see, what kind of differences you pick up, and if even from right there that you might have some guesses or ideas as to which one might be which.
I was gonna say I might be better doing them single rather than like comparing them, but we'll see what happens. And everyone in the chat, AJ, Oscar, John, myself, I read the thing wrong. Jeffrey, Brendan Wheels, thank you for stopping in. Emily was here, but she had to take off, and Eli's in there too. Thank you all for stopping in. What are you people drinking? Are you drinking Buffalo Trace at home? And do you think, how easy do people in the chat think it would be to figure out kind of the core lineup of Buffalo Trace here, kind of like we're doing? Oop. Oh, he has a store pick. Spencer Mav's got a store pick of Eagle Rare. That sounds
very nice.
Sorry about that, everyone. That sounds delicious. And that's the one I think, Ben, that's going to screw me up is your Buffalo Trace store pick. I have a feeling that could lean Eagle Rare-ish, and that could be the thing that kind of does me in there. A, B, C, and D. All right, hold on. Let's put some caps on some of these.
Hey, Ben, you're muted.
Oh, is he talking?
That's what you get when you have kids and background noise a lot. So,
Ooh.
but Eli that gets in the chat, he has a Eagle Rare store pick that we've tried, and it's really different from standard Eagle Rare. So it's interesting how far off some of these can get sometimes. But
Yeah. Ooh, and Brennan's he's having some Woodenville, and he's getting ready for the Whiskey Crusaders stream, which is coming on after this. So stop over there because they're gonna have the rep on. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna jump in and out for 1 second because I'm really blurry and I don't know what my camera did. So give me 1 second. I will be right back.
we got some royalty in the chat too. The Baroness of Texas Whiskey is in there. Hello, Texas lady.
She made it home. Glad you made it home.
All right, there. I'm back. All right. Okay.
All right, y'all picking up any differences there?
I only hit A so far because I screwed my camera up.
Got A on the nose.
B is, in my opinion, much dustier and a little flatter.
Did you give us both the same ABCD order?
Yes, y'all have exactly the same.
That would have been fantastic. That's
no, because in that way we wouldn't,
Yeah, I guess
anything you would say I wouldn't influence, but
oh my gosh,
4 different whiskeys.
Yeah, you're drinking scotch and you're drinking bourbon. Good luck tonight. See you later. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Oh, okay. C.
Ooh.
Do we want to take any quick guesses on the nose? Because C to me is even more muted than A and B.
Okay.
On the flavors. And then when you get to D, it has a different backbone. I'm going to go, because of the musty wood note in it, I'm thinking D is the barrel, not the barrel proof, but the E.H. Taylor is what I'm thinking. But I could be wrong.
D is the EH. I'm going to
just
put you
on the nose.
So far. Yeah.
Okay. That's just because it's a little more rich on the nose and it has a little more dustiness to me. Okay. Shit. I gotta make sure I don't screw those up. I could have screwed everything up there. I'm gonna guess A is the Eagle Rare.
Okay.
Shit. Sorry, I'm in there. I'm not even looking at the people on the screen. I'm sorry, fans. I'm nose deep in glasses right now.
Nose deep.
He's got full on Tourette's going.
Yeah.
Bob, I'm gonna Saget.
Okay, I'm gonna think B is Buffalo Trace store pick and C is Buffalo Trace.
Wow. Okay.
Where are you leaning at, Mike?
Backwards.
That's awesome.
Leaning to the left.
So, I haven't had Eagle Rare for about 2 years, but I always remember Eagle Rare having a little bit of an orange peel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find that.
Oh, now you
see if
got
I
me.
could figure that. See,
fuck you for screwing with my shit in my nose. Now I went back to D and I screwed it up. See, this is why having someone else to do it with could be worse for you than doing it by yourself.
It's all.
Hey, you're going to second guess yourself based off of what they're doing too.
And I'm going to shut up, Mike. I'll let you go. You let me go. And what if I do?
Blind Thorn Melon, I'm waiting for you to pull out the guitar, man. Break off some blues riffs.
I'm going to pull the triple Lindy if I get this right.
I'm going to be honest. I'm pretty surprised at how the colors are very similar to each other between all three. Like there is not one that has a darker, significantly darker hue than the rest.
Not a lot of difference. And what we typically know, Buffalo
crazy.
Trace is usually aged for about 6 years, I think. E.H. Taylor can push 10 to 11 years, maybe even a little bit more. And Eagle Rare is typically 10 year. I think they still, age 10 years, still have it on the back of the bottle. And it was, when it originally came out, it was a single barrel as well, but they don't put that on there anymore. So,
see, the Buffalo Trace store pick, that throws me off because that could just be magic.
yeah. And you're dealing with the same mash bill, you know,
Yeah.
different warehouses and different age, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. I'll go down. I think B on the nose, E.H. Taylor. And I haven't had that in a long time either, but there's just something.
Okay.
Man. Okay.
And I think C and D are the Buffalo Trace, but I don't know which one yet. So that would make A Eagle Rare.
A's Eagle Rare. All right. Okay.
But I still can't find that orange peel. I'm trying to find it, and I think I found it. And then I thought I picked up mint, which I used to get a lot of get mint from Buffalo Trace, but I haven't.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've kind of, and I'll be honest. Of course, we don't have to worry about offending a small craft distiller like Buffalo Trace. I've mostly not been buying their stuff on purpose.
Yeah.
Because screw them. They can control what's going on, and they don't. Exactly.
Yeah, that's been my whole personal take. Not to get quasi political here, I guess, with whiskey, but I've kind of this year
we're gonna zoom in on Ben for his quasi political rant.
Yeah.
Here we go, political rant. All right, so basically this year I've just gotten totally fed up with the whole allocation crap. Especially we deal with it a lot here in South Carolina. Buffalo Trace products are really hard to find, and I'm not buying Sazerac products anymore until we see some, I don't know, till the whiskey boom stops or we see changes. But part of that too is, I'm tired of dealing with the hype, tired of dealing with the prices being jacked up, even in the stores. And fact is, after all the things we have explored and done just in this year with craft whiskey, I have found so many craft distillers that, quite honestly, their whiskey is so much better, their bourbon is so much better than what I'm experiencing from Buffalo Trace, even on the E.H. Taylor level, that why go for it? Why pay the price? Why pursue it? There's just better stuff out there. And I'd rather support the craft guys that are working their asses off and doing some amazing things than these big guys who, they're going to take a hurt with the whole COVID situation, but they're going to make it. The craft guys, maybe not. And there's just a lot of amazing stuff and creativity in what they're doing. And I'd much rather support that. So, no more Blantons, no more Eagle. And for me, Eagle Rare was literally the first bottle of bourbon that I bought when I got into whiskey. So it kind of, for a long time, it had this sacred place for me of this was my first bourbon I fell in love with, one of the first whiskeys I ever got into. But I went back to it here not too long ago. I still try to keep a bottle on hand. Went back to a pour a month or two ago, and it just fell totally flat. I was like, you know what? All the things that I used to think I loved about this now tastes kind of bland and just not there. After all the things I've experienced in craft whiskeys, and especially coming out of Texas and other places, it's a hard pass for me now in a way.
I agree, and they're for them to also on one hand complain, we don't like it either. We don't like the secretary. We don't like this, and we don't. You know what? It takes one freaking person, and that could be that one person, could be that big company, and make the change. Yes, distributors are the ones doling it out and say, well, you can't have any of this allocated stuff unless you buy 500 cases of White Claw and 30 of Fireball and this other crap, and then we're going to give you 3 bottles, and then these guys go crazy about it. And this stupid Green Label Weller, people are paying $50 and thinking they're getting a deal. It's ridiculous. It takes somebody as large as Sazerac for Buffalo Trace to say, hey, guess what? We're done. Distributors, you've been pulling this shit on everybody. We're saying you got to do the show game in order to get the stuff. Well, guess what? We're going to do it to your ass now too, because we're tired of your shit. Because there's a lot of us who are tired of it. But then again, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I gotta go get my horsey. I gotta go make my poor man's pappy. So I gotta go drive over here and go buy this shit. And it's not better than a lot of the stuff that we've had from craft distillers.
And a lot of the people may not see here, but Patrick, you sent me a sample of Pappy 15 back before Christmas. I put that to good use recently and did a blind tasting with my nephew, who's loves bourbons, really getting into it. And we lined it up against 4 other easy to find, classic bourbons that you can find in just about any other liquor store. They're not allocated. And we did a blind tasting with him. He put the Fat Pappy in 4th place. And ahead of that, he put Maker's Mark, their private select, which he said basically tastes exactly the same as Pappy, but he thought it was slightly better. And his number 1 pick was Russell's Reserve Single Barrel, and number 2 was the Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond. All whiskeys that are fairly easy to get, that are fairly inexpensive, and for him, they were heads and shoulders better than Pappy.
Yep.
So,
and I'm agreeing with Mike and Ben on what they're saying for the vast majority of the Buffalo Trace family. Now, a lot of times, like here, if you win it in a lottery. Places like when I get stuff, the Pappy I got was like $120. So if it's in a lottery and it comes up for a respectable price, I'm not going to freak out about that. Sure. But that's why I was happy when Ben sent the ones we're looking at today, because these are the ones that are still very accessible, usually decently priced. Yeah. I mean, the E.H. Taylor, if you go beyond the small batch, gets a little crazy. But Buffalo Trace should be $20-$25. Eagle Rare probably 30-35, and maybe E.H. Taylor 40 to 50, somewhere in that ballpark. So for some of that, I find these to be kind of, that's why we said it's their base, their core lineup that people can get and people can try and look at. But yeah, I do agree some of their other stuff is completely out of line, and it would be fantastic to see them be the ones to like, we're putting the kibosh on this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
If we send a sales rep out and they come into your store and my bottle of Eagle Rare that we sell is 35, you have it at 80, or like you said, it's really more the Wellers that freak me out. When you're,
right.
There's something that used to be $15-$20 is now 80, and you're like, well, for $80, I always used to say Scotch. Now I'm saying American craft whiskey, 2-3 bottles, or one super fantastic. But yeah. Ben's political rant led us down another path. So you're in the cart.
And I'll throw this too. I think the final
related.
straw, the final straw for me is seeing what Buffalo Trace is doing with the Benchmark 8. How they're they've got a single barrel edition, they've got a cask strength edition. They're upselling it and trying to take advantage of basically as bottom shelf as you can get with bourbon, and playing it on the hype.
It's pretty good. It's for a mass-produced one. It's pretty good, but I agree. They're saying, oh, they're all going to be under $25. Yeah, try to find it now.
Right,
assholes.
Yeah, and they've bought up, and then they turn around and bought Early Times, and went into a local store the other day, and they've now got the Early Times bottled and bond pulled and sitting behind the counter. Yep.
Well, hey,
like,
part of that
that was a favorite budget whiskey of mine. So
yeah,
part of that is customers going in, and usually you don't want to say anything. Say something. Like Will from Whiskey Crusader said, he went in and he saw a bottle of Weller, and like we said, it was $80-$90. He's like, it's 25. And tell them, be like, this bottle right here is why I'm not coming back to your store, because if you did this on this, how can I trust the rest of your pricing on anything you have in the store? Like it's just ridiculous. But like I said, I'm spinning us back. We're 20 minutes in. We have to do some tastings here, but to see who wins. And I feel like people in the chat, should there be a bet? Should there be a what happens to the winner? What happens to the loser between Mike and I? We'll let the chat decide. You guys start hashing it out now. and we'll see what happens. We can't do anything like Ed would be drinking because I don't have anything that horrible down here right now.
I'm just glad. I'm glad Emily left because she'd come up with some kind of medieval shit.
She's watching the replay, going, "I have an idea."
Yeah.
All right. I'm going back to A. How I don't want to ask Ben. We'll just do tasting because I want to see if this screws me up further rather than
Get into it.
Do I have to do it, Oscar? I mean, I can.
Spencer, loser has to buy only Buffalo Place Trace products for a year. You can't afford it.
I'm glad I'm not in that. That would break me down here.
Dear God.
I'll just be taking the 175s of Buffalo Trace. Thank you very much. I'll take a handle and walk out.
Let me go find some Ancient Age.
Well, you're not going to go wrong with that for the price. If you can find the 10 star.
No, it is not.
Yeah.
That's one of the barrel aging things I would want to do is get the Ancient Age 10 star, toss in the barrel, see if you can do your own Blantons in reality. You know what I mean?
That was the very first aging experiment I did, the 10 star, and it actually turned out really good.
Yeah. I've got a 175 of it. That's what I'm going to do with mine. That's when I'm done with the what I'm doing now. All right. I got to quit sniffing these things. Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay, I don't want to help Mike, but tasting B, he might be right about Taylor on B. This is a problem. C is definitely a Buffalo Trace. I'm still calling that one regular Buffalo Trace. C is regular Buffalo Trace. Shit. D smells a little chocolatey, and that's what's throwing me off on this thing.
What are the notes you guys are picking up here? Anything distinguishing one from the other?
Let me get through this one on D, and then I'll go back through on it again because I'm trying to get a quick shot at it. Okay, D is far less subdued spice than on C, and I want to say, hey, hold on here. I need my water. Where? Are you serious? What happened to it? Oh, here it is. It's like worst stream ever to forget water. I donated a sample of their choice from my collection of the winner. Oh, hey, I like Eli's idea. That's not bad.
There you go.
That's nice. That's very, very generous of you, Eli.
Eli's got a nice collection too.
I did pull a move from Whiskey Crusaders when we met up with Renita and Dustin. I made 2 pounds of bacon.
but did you have it in your pocket?
No, pocket bacon was discussed. But if it had been in my pocket, especially for the hour drive up and everything that I was doing ahead of time, that would be a little gross.
Hey, Marks, thanks for stopping in the chat. On A, I'm getting orange peel on this one, but it is subdued.
You know what I'm struck by? I'm going.
A little bit of
I just went
lemon.
through and
Sorry, and I was going to say.
Sorry, Patrick. Go ahead. Yeah.
Then the rye spice starts to come in on A. Now the problem with this is the rye, a little bit of like spiciness or barrel note comes in at about the same point on each of them, which is a little irritating for me. Trying to figure them out. Okay, go ahead, Ben. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But that's what I was thinking about.
I was going to say, I just went through all 4 of these again, and I'm struck again with, for me personally, how flat they all taste. Mm-hmm. Even going from one to the other, yeah, you can pick up all the subtle notes, but overall, it's just got a flat, simple taste and profile. And I'm sitting here going, dear God, give me Spirits of French Lick, give me the Rocknar Rye, give me, J. Henry or something else. I mean,
it's just enough on A and B so far of the spice to kick it up a little bit to make it a little interesting. Like the first half is pretty watery for me compared to the viscous stuff we've been getting. Plus, these are probably far lower proof than a lot of things we usually try and drink. So we'll keep that in mind. It's just, it's pretty. Yeah. It takes the complexity that we were seeing in other things isn't there. This is very, and I feel bad calling it simple but it's a how about they're nice introductory whiskeys for a lot of people. You know, if you weren't sure, there's nothing really standing out that is overly aggressive on any of these.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, the highest proof we're dealing with is the 100. That's the E.H. Taylor single barrel is a bottled in bond, so it's 100 proof. Everything else is a little bit lower.
Shit. Okay.
Okay.
Well, B for me is much more intense, and it has more of a significant oak note on the finish. Definitely than C by far.
See, the problem is doing these in a row because I was feeling one way and went back through again, and A is more harsh second go around than what I was picking up, which then makes me think, well, that can't be Eagle Rare. And also, I mean, I used to get a lot of Eagle Rare, and I will say my only experience touring Buffalo Trace. We missed the tour, couldn't get in, but Freddie was in the front area, and so we watched him give a root beer tasting to two little girls with their parents, and so the girls did a root beer tasting, and then he had them sit off to the side, and then he had mom and dad do whiskey tasting the same way the girls did the root beer tasting, which was really cool. And then we spent like an hour with him, and we spent more time with Eagle Rare, and he was like, try this with a little Sprite. And it was like, what? And so I tried Eagle Rare with a little Sprite. I'm like, shit, that's good. And so, but ever since then, especially Eagle Rare, it brings me back to that time and meeting Freddie Johnson and hanging out with him and listening to him. And, and he's just like the Mr. Rogers of whiskey.
Yes, he is.
You feel better after listening to him talk. Right. Like, I feel better about me.
There's not many places you can do that when you go someplace that they're talking about something. Like, you know what? I feel better about myself. Like,
all right, I want y'all to do something for me.
Why don't you take a sip of these and give us what you're getting? Because I'm gonna go on to D and give my thoughts and just a couple quick tastes on that. But I know you have them in front of you. You don't have to say what it is, but what are some notes you're getting from a couple of these when you go through them?
Start with A. A is just buttery caramel, vanilla bean. There's a little floral tobacco note to it.
It's creamy. Damn.
It's like a watery brown sugar, vanilla, and then I get a little bit of barrel spice coming in. Not a lot. There's almost a note of like a gardenia to me. It's like a flowery note to it. And the one thing that when I went through these before that stood out to me is the barrel impact. I get a lot of barrel sour out of all of these. I'm left with this really sour oak note in my mouth. And
yes. And it gets worse as you
I'm not enjoying that as much as I used to. I mean, I used to be a huge give me all the oak, slap me across the face with a 2x4 kind of Stag Junior. And I think in sampling more of the craft, my palate's developed more. I love tasting the mash in these now more than the barrel. But this is just a funky sour barrel note.
The sour barrel note is like a sour beer. No,
yes.
not like the barrel note. It's almost like the sour beer when you're drinking it, where it gets kind of tart for a split second there.
Right. So going on to B, it's similar to A, but It's a little bit more subdued as far as there's not quite of a floral tobacco note that I get out of it. So and there's a little bit more of a cedar. I get a little bit of a hint of cedar shavings and maybe like a little cola note.
Yeah, for split second, I can see that. Damn.
It feels a little bit more. It feels a little bit more dense overall.
Mm-hmm.
On the palate. The notes are more. I get a little bit of a cherry out of it, maybe a cherry cola note in there, along with the vanilla and the brown sugar and your other typical bourbon notes that you get there. No pluot, no stone fruit. Little inside joke there, but
okay. And B, I'm getting some brown sugar in that now too. But I have been
there's
flipping
definitely
back and forth a lot here.
Yeah, definitely a cherry cola note coming out of that one on the palate. Going on to C. Yeah, you guys, I think you hit it right on. It's way more subdued on the nose. So if you're looking at an audiograph, you're up here and all of a sudden this one just drops. I mean, it's cut the mids way down.
That's an excellent way of putting it, because that's like almost the highs weren't there, and like the mids on the nose were like totally wore out. This
is honey and vanilla on the nose for me. There's a little bit of caramel.
Clove and heather.
Honey, a touch of black tea.
See how much more waterier C is? Though? Like,
yes, it is.
It almost, and this is part of us because we've been drinking like cast strength for a lot of them. It's just the way it comes out for most of what we drink. This almost tastes like 30%. Like it's not viscousy. It is very watery on the front. Like you're getting two flavors, like you said, vanilla, little caramel, little bit of rye spice where it's cardamom, a light touch of cinnamon, a little bit of black pepper, but
yeah,
it is not this. That's why I have to guess that this is original Buffalo Trace. This is the way
I think I have mine. I'm locked into what I think they are.
Okay, you can argue. I got to figure out B and.
I'm not going to argue.
The notes on B. Yeah, the notes on C. Sorry, the notes on C. They fade. It hits quick and it's gone. Right. And then the finish is just a slightly creamy, sour, little touch of leather maybe, but it's just that barrel, that oak, and it's still that sour note, tart sour note, and I'm just not fond of that anymore. D cranks the flavors back up a little bit. It's a little bit more richer. It's a little bit more dense, especially compared to C.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of a cola syrup note to me, a little bit of sweetness from that, but there's a little bit more rye fruit, it feels like, coming out in that one. Kind of a fruity rye note. Maybe a touch of blackberry, a little hint of blackberry in there. But again, just all the classic honey, vanilla, brown sugar.
Yeah. See, the problem is going back to back to back to back on these things.
Extra Eagle Rare.
Yeah.
It's just sitting, it's just sitting there in my tongue. Yeah. And it's harder to discern.
And especially I feel since it's the same mash bill, is that some of the same notes are like, I think the finish is on C is being elongated because of what we drank on the other ones.
Right.
Like I think C is shorter, is actually a short finish.
I'm going by mouthfeel on them at this point, because I'm looking at it going, okay, I know I have have my fond memories of the Eagle Rare, and I haven't had a lot of E.H. Taylors, but I know E.H. Taylor is not going to be run of the mill. There's a certain stigma to what you're going to get. Not a stigma. There's a certain idea of what you're going to get if you're drinking an E.H. Taylor, or what you should be getting. Mm-hmm. Buffalo Trace. It's just a bourbon. Nothing wrong with it. It's just a bourbon.
Yeah.
So it's pretty plain. It's thinner. And the store pick is the one that throws me, because if it was just those three, I would feel more confident. The store pick of Buffalo Trace, that throws me off, because that could be, I mean, like you said, it could be something else.
Yeah. So I want y'all to do one more thing for me here, is take A and C and pull those two aside, and then take B and D and pull those aside.
Okay.
And now compare A to C and then compare B to D.
Oh my God. A and C. A is a million times more buttery than C.
Yeah.
Like that's the first thing I'm getting, like this buttery,
Yeah.
creamy caramel,
Yeah.
vanilla note on it.
Yeah. Heavy caramel, honey.
I'm gonna be buzzed up from sniffing, huffing fumes my hand tonight, man. I don't know if it's happening. I'm starting to feel warm, and I don't think I drank enough to feel warm, but I have sniffed this pretty well.
Now, let me ask you this. On comparing these two, are the notes you get
Brown sugar.
fairly similar? Would you feel like C is just like it was like A if you added water or you cranked it down a little bit?
I am getting the brown sugar.
Mm-hmm.
It very well could be, but it's hard to tell. Just because it's a little more, it's so much more amped up on A.
Yeah.
Like
It
to
is.
me it's almost, it would be like a 10 or a 15% in, like from a 40 to a 50, or a 47 to a 50 from a
Right.
40.
See, I don't see it as being amped up. I see it as being more dense.
Mm-hmm.
A better
I get
concentration
you.
of flavors.
You can sneak through it. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
more powerful, prominent. All the flavors are more prominent on the nose in A.
Okay. Now do the same thing with C and D. Let's see what you get.
B and D.
B and D. Sorry.
See, this is where he starts screwing us up.
Okay, start over.
Pour all new glasses. Start all over. Ooh, Eli, crack open that Supernova. That's some tasty stuff. And I saw someone in the chat had a cake too.
Yeah.
That's one I haven't been too excited about Glenmorangie in a while. I would like to try cake.
See, D, I'm getting more grass, more hay.
See, I get the hay, but I get it more of as a flat dustiness to it with the hay.
Yeah, it's not green or anything. It's just like it's a whiff of it. Yeah.
I'm getting a sweet candy note out of both of them.
I get it more out of B.
More out of B? Yeah.
More out of B for me. Oh, cake. I think, who was it? It was Aaron? Hold on here.
Yes, I believe Aaron Hardiman. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one having it. It's a special edition. It's the Tale of Cake. I just saw it the other day. It's the bottle alone has you very intrigued with all the different candy and weird stuff on it, like
like flavored vodkas.
Yeah, the bottle alone has me like, I guess I'm gonna have to try this, So yeah, definitely worth taking a look at.
Okay, Aaron, what Hungarian wine?
That's awesome. I don't know, maybe
Is it the Tokaji or Tokaji?
Interesting.
B, I'm getting richer molasses, burnt sugar caramel.
I get
more of an orange note.
I get more old tobacco out of D.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. Old tobacco is an excellent way of putting that one.
Okay. Man.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No. I mean, this is.
I feel like Ron Burgundy. Like it stings the nostrils.
Heavy duty sniffing there. So
okay, it is the Tokai. Okay, because I just had some whiskey that was finished in those, and it's really good. You can tell the difference on it. The finish is something else.
Okay, hold on. I have to go back. I need to get my final thoughts together on this.
Yeah, I'm going to run back through, but I think I'm going to stick with what I picked.
And on B right now, one of the ones I was having problems with, I just swished it for a second. It came up a little bit of mint mixed in with cinnamon, and then the spice on that one became a little more prominent for a second.
That's actually what I just took a sip of, and I'm getting that mint off of that now.
D, it's there, but it's lingered. Yes, but D on the finish, it's there, but it's flattened out. So like the oak is rolled over the top of it in D. God, this is just everyone watching. This is just a great way to get a buzz going. Is start with 4 whiskeys and start going back and forth. Because really, you should be going between 2 to 3. 4 is fine. People who go to 5, let's be honest, bullshit. You're getting drunk. Like that's you're getting a buzz on by the time you get halfway through what we're doing here. Because I do right now.
Not that I would advocate it, but if that was your goal to do something with a blind tasting, I have done this where you do a neutral spirit to cleanse you between each one.
That's not
now,
bad.
Obviously, well, here's the problem.
What are you using Everclear, Mike? What are you doing?
No, I've done it using it with vodka, which was better. I've also done it with an almost vodka like gin. The problem is you do not want to drink that intermediate spirit because you're straight up just going to get messed up. But if you did want to straight up get messed up, it'd be a good way to do it.
That's the end game.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It's a fun way to get there. Yeah, but
I don't mind being buzzed or like a little bit drunk. It's when you start getting like over that edge. Mike, you were there at you were at Distill America. There's time where all of a sudden it's time to take a walk.
I got to take a break.
I got to take a break.
I keep everything in check as much as I can anyway, but I also doing this, I did have my fleeting moment where I'm like, I got to walk up some steps in a 100-year-old house and there's a minimal railing.
And that ginger wig might jump out and grab you.
Might be more than the ginger wig.
Gnaw in your ear a little bit.
Pulling you down.
Hey, I'd let it.
Hear that, Robert and Jonathan?
Oh, I'd 100% let them do it.
Okay. It's B and D that are just. Okay. I'm just gonna come.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I think I do. GT. Star pick. Give me one more second. It's B and D that are screwing me up.
I'm locked in.
Is that your final answer?
I'm final. And actually, you know what I should be doing?
I've got the blend of all 4 going right now.
That's what I'm just starting.
That's where I was headed. I was gonna get there for after we give our little talk here. Okay. I think I got it. I think I got what oh, hold on. I crossed off Eagle Rare. I don't even have it on here now. I got 2 Taylors.
Do you guys have a favorite out of
Taylor
the 4
1
you've
and
tasted so
Taylor
far?
2?
B or D for me.
Okay.
They had a much, like Mike said, denser aromatics, denser, a little bit better mouthfeel, more heat on some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, well.
And AJ said buzz driving is drunk driving. Yes, that's why you Uber now.
That's right.
It's a wonderful thing. And for like $40-$50, you can be out, you can be back. And it sounds terrible, but you can have as much fun as you want. Or you can just stay at home and drink the whiskey you have, and for far, far cheaper.
Unless you're California. Oscar, did they shut Uber and Lyft down out there? Last thing I'd seen about it, that was on the chopping block there.
Okay. Okay. All right, I think I got it. I'm good. I've got my locked in answers.
Alrighty.
I am going to go. I'm changing A from Eagle Rare to the Buffalo Trace store pick.
Okay.
B, I'm changing to the Taylor, DH Taylor. C is staying the same as the Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
And hold on. And D, bullshit.
Benchmark 8.
I lied. I'm gonna go.
Charter.
I'm going D as Taylor, B as Eagle Rare. But those two, I'm having a hard time. It's just I get a little more barrel note and heat off Taylor, so I'm guessing that's the 50%.
D, you're sticking with Taylor. And
B is Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare. Okay.
So basically, A and B flipped for me.
Okay.
That is terrible. I have like such weird anxiety all of a sudden about what's happening.
It's because if you're wrong, the couch is just going to open up and drop, and you're gone. Like that old MTV game show.
All of a sudden, Ben is now the new host of the show. I am just the moderator in the background, bringing things up, pulling them
My
down.
secret control room in South Carolina.
All right, Mike. Let's hear it. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this.
All right. I've got A is Eagle Rare, B is E.H. Taylor, C is Buffalo Trace, and D is the Buffalo Trace store pick.
Okay.
Fuck. Man, we are way different. So what is this? Loser sends something out to a customer? I'll do it. If I lose.
Yeah,
Don't worry, you don't have to do it either.
No, that's fine. I'll send something out.
My
first thought was, well, we have to send something to the winner. Well, we're going to do that anyway.
Yeah,
so we'll send it to somebody else.
We're always the winner on the show. Yeah. So it's hard to be the loser. All right. So Mike, what are your picks? You gave your picks. So who the fuck's right, Ben? Who the fuck is right?
All right.
I'm gonna say nobody.
Yeah, I bet you're right. Like, how about this? Let's start it this way. Did I get one answer right, Ben?
Let's see. You got 2 answers right, Patty.
Shit. It's like the price is right, and I can't go back to the board to flip flop these things.
50%.
You got 2 answers right. So which 2? Let's see. Y'all ready for the big reveal here?
Yeah.
Okay. So A, your sample A is
Son of a
Taylor single barrel.
I had written that down once, and then I'm like, no, I'm sticking back to my guns. But that's fine.
How the hell? Okay, sorry. I'm going back right now. Yes, okay. This is terrible because now it's the power of suggestion, and I'm getting the dustiness that I wasn't before. Okay, go ahead, Ben. We'll let you keep going. I'm not going to cut you off anymore. Bullshit.
B. Sample B is the Eagle Rare.
Okay.
Which you got right there, Patrick.
That's 1, but yeah.
Yeah. I had flipped those once. I flipped them back. That's fine. I stand by my decision.
C. You both were right on that one. That's the standard Buffalo Trace.
I'm not going to use the terminology I was just going to use. They're probably watching it. But I mean, you know what I mean? When you're tasting all 3 and it's the 4th out of the 4, and you're like, well, that's kind of the crummy one between all of them. Like, the other ones all had a little bit more punch. That's why it threw me off. Yeah.
That one was a little flat.
And D is the store pick.
D is the store pick.
Really? Okay, store pick by me, probably by price, I think is the winner.
By price? Yeah, because it was literally at least here, it's the same price you would pay for standard Buffalo Trace.
Okay. In that case, I would pick
value.
D. Best value would have been D.
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised by that. I am shaming myself for not knowing A was Taylor, man. I feel like dirty inside. I thought
that's what you're doing with the single barrel, though.
I know. I thought that was the one I was going to be able to peg, though. I'm like, I remember that. That's damn.
You feel dirty about pegging? Yes,
I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Where's Emily when you need her?
Those are going to be in the chats tomorrow, in the comments tomorrow. Okay, but now I have, and everyone else here, have we done the 4? The 4 for blend?
I'm unimpressed by the blend.
I'm just unimpressed by all of them. How about that?
No, you guys just being mean.
Here's I do have to say this. Again, none of these are bad. And they don't make bad whiskey.
No, they don't.
when you have been drinking a lot of craft whiskey, okay, then there's a difference in the mouthfeel, in the presentation, the nose, and everything, because you're also talking about, even though they are limited and could be considered allocated, these are mass-produced whiskeys.
So
they are not produced in a pot still, where you're going to get completely different. Right, you're not going to get completely. You're going to get totally different mouthfeel, totally different everything about it. But you're also you're talking about people that are making, you know, probably a much narrower cut, because they're running continuous, and it's going to be going back through there again. So you don't get that life out of it. There's not the soul that you're going to get out of some of these other whiskeys. Now, I mean, we have had some craft ones that are not as deep as some of the other ones that we've had, but but when you are used to drinking some of the craft stuff, and you go to a Buffalo Trace, it is really unimpressive.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd have to say, I would totally throw that E.H. Taylor, which, you know, well, the one that, you know, that won the, what was the E.H. Taylor single barrel?
Yeah, single barrel.
Which no one's going to get that same barrel anyway. It was probably a honey barrel to begin with, but you're not going to go to the store and get that same barrel. But some jackass is going to pay $300 for an E.H. Taylor single barrel because it won. I would 100%. I would 100% pick up this 5 times over.
Yes.
Before getting that, because not only is it magical, but it's just better whiskey.
It's $42 to $50.
Yeah.
and then
you know, here's the thing, and people who haven't been trying craft or getting to experiment with a lot of craft whiskey, you know, craft kind of got a bad reputation in a way 5-6 years ago.
Yep.
I mean, you know, granted, there was a lot of young stuff. There was a lot of using small barrels that were not air dried properly, had that funky green wood note to it. It was young. It just wasn't good. But these guys have got their shit together. I'm just telling you, I mean, you look at all the craft distillers that we have been trying, how many of them actually been bad?
2.
Maybe, yeah. 2? Yeah.
2.
And that's it. And most of them have been freaking phenomenal. They're getting age on it, but even more than just getting age on it, these guys are putting out 2-year-old stuff that, to me, blows this crap that's minimum 6 years old, and some of it pushing 11, 12 years old, blows it out of the water.
And I think that plays a bit into the heads and tails cuts where you're talking about, where if you're almost forced to come down and you're not using unique grains that are giving you extra punch, extra flavor. Just look at we just did the Rockner. Look at the AC Hazlitt rye. Look what you're getting out of that. Pretty much that one type of rye, the flavor compounds you're getting out of that. It is pretty significant. And on that note, John was mentioning when we're going to be getting to the wood hat anytime soon. Yes, we will be. We'll probably be setting something up with Gary. I talked to him probably beginning of October, not the first week, because the first week is going to be David, the owner at Wyoming Whiskey, but hopefully the next week. And I have a question for everyone who's still out in the chat. Would you people want to try some wood? Did I really just whip some whiskey on me? All right. Would you people want to try some wood hat, or have some wood hat in your hands to try when we're talking to Gary about some of them? If you would, comment in here or email me or Mike or Ben, email any one of us. And we're looking into doing some stuff maybe more like the ABV network and some stuff like that in the future, where maybe we can get you guys some chances to taste it as we're tasting it with the distillers as well too. Because we think that would be a little more exciting, and I know they're watching, but it doesn't seem to really, they're cracking down on anyone else, so fuck it.
There are people who make things appear places.
Yes, and that may be what happens. In that nature,
there's lots of ways to do it. There's lots of people doing it. Distilleries can send stuff directly out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes distributors get involved, but yeah.
So
just fucking magic happens, man.
Yeah, magic happens.
Magic.
Or maybe there's transactions involved, but we're moving in a direction. It's just that we don't want to be leaned on by anybody, but then we have to rat everyone else out who's doing it too. So we don't want to do that.
Well, and that's what, you find the things. What I can't remember what they called it. They used to call it the wasn't a mule train, but it was something else where it was. You have a line of people, like guys that buy heavy equipment, or bit large tools. You get a network, and they're like, "Hey, I got some guy. He's driving through Green Bay, and it's like I got room on my flatbed." So, let's just say we have people like that.
Yes, let's just say that happens. So if
Smoking
anyone in
gun that's alive and well.
If anyone in the chat is looking at that, that is something I was looking forward to doing with some of the wood hat. I got 2 of them here, so we can work to get some people some samples. So as we're going through these in the future and talking to the actual the people, you and your damn 4 whiskeys. What is that? 8 shots? Whatever.
Yeah, sure thing, Dean Martin.
Hey, I'm just speaking in cursive, man. But
yeah, no, that would be fun, especially with Gary, getting Gary back on.
Yeah, and I was waiting to kind of get that set up. So anyone in the chat, like I said, email me or Mike or Ben, let us know, and maybe we can set something up where we can start getting some people some options, or maybe we'll let people know about it through Eventbrite or something, and we can go another route. But let us know whether we're just getting started on it. And I think Wood Hat would be an excellent one to try, because they're one that have some really complex stuff, deep, rich, unique things out of 2 years and just a little over 2 years. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. And he was awesome to have on the show.
Yes, he was.
So
100% character.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and then I feel bad. I think Steve, the distiller, had to stay late like an extra 4 hours and run around the whole distillery with the thing, and like go outside, right. Like go show them the wood-fired kiln. All right, out in the dark he goes.
I'll tell you what. If we do or figure out the wood hat, obviously we can't send samples to everybody, or we can't make samples appear everywhere. But if we did, I don't know, like a random sign up, we could do a couple of them, like maybe someone, because I've got their cordials, so I could send some cordials out.
I don't even have the cordials yet, you son of a gun. Yeah, see,
persimmon.
There's a persimmon cordial. Everyone out there, what does that sound like to you?
I've opened it and smelled it, and that's all I've done. I haven't tasted the cordials yet, but that would be one to, maybe somebody gets cordials, somebody else gets whiskey. John Gunsel has he's got all the wood hats that I've got. I sent him samples, but I asked him to wait until we got Gary on. That's why he was.
He's like, well, Gary should have been on 3 weeks ago. Damn it.
He's coming. Well, and Gary, he's got a surprise that he wants to do too. So that's one of the reasons we got to wait, because he said he had a nice surprise. Yes.
I was about to say, Aaron's got the question right there.
It could be in the works. We just have to find someone to work with, and it has to do with us wanting to be able to get bottles to a lot of people. So it's working with the right distributor / online distributor type thing. So just some bullshit to work out still on that. But yes. There is thoughts. There have been talks about it with a few of the people that have been on. We would like to go out and do that with some of them. So hopefully in the future.
Yeah. You might need to, depends on who it is, but most often we would probably have to partner with somebody else in order to fulfill that whole barrel, unless it was somebody who used smaller barrels, like Wood Hat. That would be easier to sell those.
And like when you only have to pick up, 74 bottles instead of 400 bottles,
right,
or 250. That's when you really need to have another liquor store or some other place doing that. I have 1 or 2 places I've talked to in Wisconsin, but up in Green Bay, it doesn't happen enough. To be honest, for what it is. But it's in the works, and if we were to do that, people in the chat, who would you want us to get a barrel from so that we could try to get stuff out to you to taste? A good thing would be to look back through what we've done, but if anyone jumps out right away, let me know. Damn it, Eli. Hey, hey,
Okay.
the barrel pick of this was the one that threw me off. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say the barrel pick was one that had a significant amount of extra bump that screwed my whole picking process up. So I would actually be, well, let's be honest, who the hell doesn't want to go to Buffalo Trace and pick up a barrel, and then try to confuse them with what? I was gonna say, try to confuse them with what barrel you picked. Like, yeah, we want to pay for the Buffalo Trace. We would like the Weller. No, we want something else you have sitting in here. How about the 4-grain Taylor? That's really the barrel we were looking for. Ghost Hill, AJ, that's nice. Ooh, Oscar, a barrel from Westland.
I mean,
we'll have them back on again, but that's definitely one we would have to partner with someone because they're
that's the thing, is finding a good person to partner with for.
If Great Wagon Road still has some of those small barrels of Rua thrown down, they haven't switched all to the big barrels yet. That would be a great one to go.
Ooh, yes. Okay, we're liking where this is going. Definitely liking where this is going. So we'll find our way to something like that in the future. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But it's still a little bit out, and but then if we did Westland, I mean, there's just, where do you look? And to me, like, part of my thing, if we went to Spirits of French Lick, one of the ones I would like to go to, I might not even come back with a whiskey barrel. Like, there's some other hidden barrels that we may have learned about that I'm intrigued by these.
Yeah. If they would let them
mystery
go.
barrels, if they would let them go. They definitely sound like, I don't care what it is, something tasty enough to have in your hands and really, really get a taste for. And that's what I think would be the best part, is like finding these hidden barrels, not the ones that you're looking for, like the super one-offs that they're not even really showing to people. What about this thing over here in the corner? Why is it on the bottom shelf, hidden in the background? Peated Westland. Yeah, well, anything peated. Who was it that was going to be peating their own whiskey with American
Far North?
Far North.
Yeah.
That would be one I would be intrigued in, just because it's legitimately American peat for something like that. But to sell Westland, I don't think that would be a problem across the board. Wherever that goes, that's definitely not going to. Oh, Old Elk Weeder. That's actually a really good choice, Richie. Old Elk's got some really great stuff going on. What? Oh. And Alan just magically shows up on the chat. Just everything's for sale as long as it meets our standards. I respect that, and then that's why I would want to go there, is because he might be like, well, we have this one we're not showing people. Let's see the barrel.
Apple brandy finished, Maddie Gladden. That's all I'm going to say.
That would be pretty good. that would be really good.
And Alan, you need to go back and watch the beginning. We had an epic rant going on, so
it kind of continued off and on.
It may have come back and forth, but the way that they're oh my god, I was going to say it wasn't Maddie Gladden, it was the Unpretentious turned out. I would be excited to drop that Maddie Gladden in the barrel and see what happens. But yeah, I was going to say, that would be that's something that if we were doing a tasting experience, Aaron, where if it works out and they actually do have Distill America, maybe we'll look at doing something like that a day before. So having like a tasting experience where you get to try something, where some stuff we've been talking about, maybe 2 variants to get a kind of a nice little tasting going on. So fun stuff like this is in the works for the future. It's just COVID didn't help fucking anybody. Didn't help anybody.
No.
Slowed everybody down. So we're just hoping everyone gets through it and we get to taste some more stuff. But I am noticing we are over the hour mark, and coming up and Whiskey Crusaders, they are talking to Woodinville, who is a wonderful craft distiller. We highly recommend you go over there and listen to what's going on. But they are producing some great stuff. I know one of their single barrels is Kick Ass. And I think I saw Mike send me some Woodinville. Is there some Woodinville over here?
Ben did.
I think I sent you one. And as a matter of fact, if you're in one of those allocated states and you can't find Eagle Rare, track down some Woodinville bourbon, because that is a fantastic substitute and probably better.
Yes, much more complex from what I sipped.
Yeah.
From what was going on there. So go stop over there, see what's going on, learn some stuff about some more craft whiskey. We will always push you in that route.
And next week, we will not be live on Monday. As a reminder, we'll be live Tuesday.
Oh, yes, that's right. Tuesday, because
special night,
Monday, once again, our good friends, Whiskey Crusaders, we are pimping their channel hard tonight. They're having Nancy Fraley on. And you know how much we loved having Nancy Fraley on and how damn good of a show it was. So we will not be on that night. And it's also my anniversary. So good twofer for not being on Monday. But Tuesday we'll be on. We're having David, the owner, founder, distiller over at Wyoming Whiskey. We'll be on right on Tuesday, usual time, 8 o'clock. So talk to Nancy, and learn about Nancy Fraley again on Monday. Then come learn about some of the stuff she worked on over at Wyoming Whiskey. It's going to be pretty fun, and he's pretty excited about coming on. And that's always great to have people be excited to come on and want to share a little bit more of the story as to how people got from the beginning to where they are now. Yeah. So definitely stop in for that. But I think on that note, I think we'll let everyone go home.
They are.
I'm feeling iffy about myself. I'm just
saying. Do you know where you're at?
I only have to. I can lay in the basement.
Okay, Grandpa, let's get you back to bed.
Yeah.
Walk me up the stairs. I can make it. But yeah, we will. We'll talk to everyone next week. It's going to be a really fun stream, and I feel down on myself. I feel like I should have hit at least 3. I don't know. I feel like I should have done a little better. We're going to have to do some more of these blind tastings to see where stuff is.
So, quick question before we cut over. Did you do this also, Ben, before?
I did. Yeah. I sat down and I had my wife pour these and do a blind for me. I think I put it on Facebook here.
Yes.
It's been months ago.
Okay.
And kind of broke these down.
And how did you do?
I think I batted about 500 on those too.
Okay. Now I don't feel as bad.
that was pretty good. I mean, especially the same mash bill coming from same distillery.
Yep.
Same.
Slight variances. But definitely the two are much more impactful than the rest. I just can't believe I thought that Taylor, for me, came in like third for me. Yeah. And I usually really like that one.
See, and that's for me. This particular single barrel bottle, I've not been the biggest fan of. Okay. The Eagle Rare and the Buffalo Store Pick, I like heads and tails above the E.H. Taylor single barrel. Mm. And I've had small batch and I've had their cast strength, and I like those a lot better. But this particular single barrel, it just didn't hit the marks for me.
And the blend I have of all four, I'm getting a punch of mint on this, like a punch of it.
Yeah, I think because I would usually get a little mint from Buffalo Trace, and I wonder if it's a combination of two. I don't get a punch, but I do get more mint, but it actually is flatter than what I thought it would be.
I can see that. All right. Well, anyway, everyone in the chat, thanks for stopping in. Everyone stopping in to watch this afterwards, thanks for stopping in. We'll be doing some more blind tastings coming up just because they're fun and they're a little bit different. We need to break up an evening with every now and then. We have shows we want to do that are a little bit different. So we're going to slide some in every now and then. Like next Sunday, because we have a bunch of fantastics, or not next Sunday. Wait, what? Oh, it is. We're not doing that. I thought we had a whole extra week in September. But coming up soon, we will be doing a super Scotch stream where it's all fantastic Scotches that we'll be having that night. Just because we have them, we want to get through and be able to include them in the Whiskeys of the Year's competition. So remember, everyone, it's not the size of the den that matters. It's whether you're blindfolded and you like the stuff. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Let's get into it. 1, 2, 3. Let's get some more. Clap your hands. Get some more. Just get some more.